Hello, my name is Steve Sanchez, and I live and work in Salem. For the past 14 years, I've been a volunteer with the Willamette chapter of the American Red Cross. I've served in many capacities, both locally and nationally. Today, I would like to tell you about your local Willamette chapter located in West Salem. In 1917, as World War I was being fought, a small group of people united to organize the Willamette chapter. Their mission would be to help people prevent, prepare for, and respond to disasters. In our first year, we made over 209,000 bandages and knitted over 154,000 garments for the war effort. We provided servicemen and their families with financial and emotional support. Over the years, our service expanded to train a network of Gray Ladies who provided care for servicemen in hospitals and created a temporary community hospital in response to the influenza epidemic following the Great War. We provided support to servicemen in many forms, including taped messages and letters delivered from home, emergency communications, and canteens at home and abroad. We also collected life-saving blood donations and created a blood banking system which would help ensure that a ready supply of blood was always on hand. Over the years, the mission of the Willamette chapter began to expand, training members of our community in nursing, first aid, CPR, AIDS and HIV awareness, disaster preparedness and response, lifeguarding, and water safety. The Red Cross is truly an organization of volunteers. We have over 800 local volunteers who work with 9 professional staff. After attending a volunteer orientation and completing a background check, new volunteers meet with our volunteer coordinator to find a work assignment that best suits them. Our blood services volunteers work with staff in area businesses, churches, high schools, colleges, and service clubs to hold community blood drives. Together, we help the Pacific Northwest Regional Blood Services collect over 20,000 whole blood donations every year for hospital patients like 13-year-old Alice Hines, who's been receiving regular blood transfusions since she was 5.
Alice was diagnosed with a brain tumor. She has since had 4 brain tumors, and she's had multiple brain surgeries. But after her 3rd brain tumor, she started chemotherapy again and was just days into it and literally woke up one morning and was dripping blood out of her nose. And she had a fever of 103. Needless to say, I took her immediately into the hospital and at that time learned that she had a 0 white blood cell count and her red blood cells were also very, very low. So she ended up getting 3 units of red blood cells and a couple units of platelets. And from then on, over the course of the next 2 years, she got nearly 100 transfusions. Alice is now 10 months out from her last brain tumor and her last surgery and is healthier than she has been in over 7 years. And if it wasn't for all the blood that she received those years when she was really struggling, she wouldn't be here today.
I give blood because it is so needed by so many people, and you feel you're helping them to keep living and keep going. And it's just so important. The importance of being a donor is that you feel you've saved people's lives, and there's nothing else that can take the place of blood. And the Red Cross has done so much, and I just want them to keep going and going and going, and I just want to be part of it.
Lorene saves lives by donating blood. Our health and safety members save lives by teaching life-saving first aid, CPR, and water safety skills to thousands of community members each year. We partner with local fire departments, emergency managers, churches, and community organizations to educate people about the importance of having an emergency plan and a disaster supply kit. We reach over 2,500 youth in our community through a youth council for high school students, our college council, conducting Girl Scout badge days, and going into elementary schools with our Scrubby Bear program, basic aid training, and babysitter training. Each year, we help about 200 military families by providing emergency communications between members of the armed forces and their families. We have a worldwide network that reaches service members wherever they are to communicate a birth, death, or illness. Our disaster service volunteers participate in Red Cross disaster training and then are mentored by more experienced disaster volunteers to prepare themselves to respond to local disasters such as house fires. Disaster volunteers serve on teams called disaster action teams, which respond to requests from fire departments or neighbors following a fire. Whether it's 2 in the afternoon or 2 in the morning, our volunteers are always ready to respond. They go right to work, providing for the immediate needs of families affected by fires.
In 1985, we had a fire and the house burned to the ground. My 10-month-old baby had no baby clothes. We had no clothes, no food. All of our memories, our pictures, everything that we owned burned. The Red Cross workers provided us housing for several days. They gave us food. They gave us vouchers for clothing. But I think most of all, they gave us the time to regroup. They were very, very supportive. They were kind. They listened carefully. It is such a personal touch to have someone who is a complete stranger to you provide you with the support that you need during your crisis. I love the Red Cross.
It's the selfless nature of our volunteers to give of their time, money, and blood in order to help others. Our volunteers are heroes every day. Our community relies on our everyday heroes to respond in a moment's notice, to deliver life-saving blood, to help victims of disaster, to provide life-saving first aid and CPR training, and to donate much-needed funding for our services. Thank you for taking this time to learn more about your chapter of the American Red Cross.